Hi everyone, I'm Virginia Killmore and welcome to my studio. So glad you decided to join me today. Today I'm featuring Berry Blessings paper and stamp set, which is a free item from Celebration that you get as a bundle for spending $100. And that's not too easy to do with this new catalog. I'll show you the cover. Well, actually that's the Celebration catalog and this is the new catalog. There's so many beautiful things in it, and I'll be sharing that quite a bit in the next couple days. So let's get started. So this is the card that we'll be doing today. And I don't know if you realize this, but there's very little stamping involved. This is the only section that's been stamped. Everything else is cut out from the designer series paper, which I'll zoom out so you can see. This is the designer series paper that I used, and I'll actually show you all the patterns on it because you know I have those little handy dandy cards with all the patterns. We'll be using a little piece of this, and then we're going to be cutting out pieces from that large section of the paper. I'll show you that. Here's a section of the paper right here, and I cut out 2 strawberries and a bunch of little flowers, and I am using our little small blossom punch, and the reason I chose that is because I can cut this out and save myself a little bit of time going into those little spots. So I'm going to just punch that out and I'll show you what I mean. I'm going to take my scissors, which are right here, and now all I have to do is trim it this way. See how I'm trimming it? And it's saving me a little bit of time with the cutting, the fussy cutting. I did have to fussy cut the leaves and such for that, but everything else was hand cut right out of the paper. Now, the idea for this card is not mine. I saw this out there on the internet from a woman named Melissa Stout. I think she actually emailed it to me, so I'm going to show you her original design. I think it's so pretty. It's what is called a slim line card. I have a little hard time with that. But it's a long card. And I haven't done any of those. I do need to try them. I'm just always a little hesitant when I have to make my own envelopes, so I didn't want to do that. But this card is a version of the same card, just done on a regular traditional size paper. Every week when I show you stuff, I give you a list of everything you need, plus I will also put it in the description of the video. If you're watching me on YouTube, it's directly below. If you're watching me on Facebook, I think it'll be to your right, but I'm not 100% sure. So the supplies we're going to need today are going to be an 8.5 by 5.5 piece of basic white cardstock. Now that's a new name. A lot of you may not realize this. But Whisper White is gone. It just, all of a sudden the company closed, Stampin' Up! Scrambled, they got a new company, and people seem pretty happy with it. I have not actually experienced it, so you're actually looking at Whisper White, but I will be purchasing some basic white and sharing that with you in a day or so. This is Garden Green, that's 5.5 by 4.25, and this piece is Whisper White that we're going to work on right off the bat. That's 5.25 by 4. And that's the piece that we're going to work on to begin with. I have all these pieces already cut and mounted. I already put them on some dimensionals on them, but I'm going to go ahead and start on this piece because I need to blend out some ink on it. And I'm going to take a scrap piece of paper that I have laying around because I always have scrap paper. And I'm going to show you the new blending brush. If you've not seen our blending brushes, a lot of people don't realize it's thousands of bristles, thousands, but they're so soft and nice. And every time I start, I just make sure there's no ink. You see how I just sort of clean that off? And you may notice too that I have a little green washi tape on here. That's to tell me that this is my green blending brush. It's best to start with your finger on here, but not to put a lot of pressure. And I like to start out here and just slowly color this. Now, it doesn't look like a lot of color went on there, but that's sort of the trick with a blending brush. Just like with the daubers, you did not press hard to begin with. The blending brush won't give you as much, those hard marks. But you do want to be careful when you start, and you want to just build layer upon layer of color. So I'm just working my way all the way around in a circular fashion, and I am using my finger to push down on my brush a little bit. I always start out there and work my way in. It does take a little bit more time this way, but it'll avoid a lot of little hard spots, I call them, or spots that are not quite even. You get this beautiful, smooth, blended area, but it only happens if you're willing to take the time to build that color. See these little hard spots? Those would have been all over my card if I had just gone directly to it. Just constantly blending that in a circular fashion and building my color. And I'm really concentrating on the darkest part down in this corner. But I do want to work up in here. Oh, I just see something that I don't know how that happened, a little spot right there. So guess where this little band that's going to go, this little band is going right across that spot. I could start over, that's another option, but I don't want to bore you, so I'm going to see if I can creatively solve my problem. And I'm getting close now. I'm starting to like the color that I have. I'm going to concentrate a little bit more down here. You probably can't even see the weird spot that I have up there. I'll show you in a second. I'm looking at the camera and I'm seeing that it's very hard to see. But those kind of little spots drive me crazy. I'll hold it up close. Oh, wow, you can barely see it. It's right there. Somehow that happened. Don't know what caused it, but it happens to the best of us. We're trying always hard to do our best with stamping, but sometimes something gets in the way. So I think now I've got enough color on there that I'm happy. And you notice as I get more and more color on, I don't stamp as far out as I was earlier. Now I'm going to just clean my brush and set that aside. I'm going to go ahead and stamp my sentiment since I have this all set up. My sentiment's going to go somewhere down in here. Just want to make sure I get it nice and straight. That did not go well, did it? So that's a wishing the very best. So it's a very quiet wishing you, because I can't change that at this point. I mean, I can start over. Those are the only options. It's probably good for you to see that some days I have a frustrating morning as well with my stamping, as you might have. So now I'm going to take my glue. My glue hasn't been used in 24 hours, so it has a little bit of a, I call it a boogie in there. And I am going to go ahead and do this. The only way I can really fix that is by going in and writing on it, and sometimes that's worse, but I'm going to try. The other thought I had is you could always stamp on a scrap piece of paper. And since I'm doing this, I might as well go all the way across, darken all the letters. I sort of attribute that to being in a hurry to show you what I was doing and not doing it. Now, if I had done that on the Stamparatus, I could have pulled it right off, stamped it right again, but I'm not taking that chance. So I am going to glue this down until I'm frustrated. I can't focus. So, have you ever wondered what kind of ink you should use for what kind of paper or what kind of situation? I have today a handy dandy little guide that I don't think I've offered you guys yet, but it's a freebie. It's a list of all different kinds of ink and what they're good for, the type of ink they are, what they're used for, and the best way to clean them. And I have this chart for free if you're interested. All you have to do is leave a comment today letting me know that you would like a copy of that. So feel free to just leave me a little comment and I will send that to you via email if I have your email. If you're not interested in leaving the email online, you can email me at my vkillmore@gmail.com email, and I'd be happy to mail it to you. So I took a piece that was slightly bigger so that I could trim it a little bit. I covered that little yucky spot, and now I'm ready to decorate my card. So I'm going to put these down first. Well, actually, I'm going to put this down first. But before I do, I think I'm just going to get an idea of where I want these. Yep. I think that's what I'm going to want. I think I'm going to put this down first. That sort of sets the whole look for the whole card. And then I can tuck this in with a little bit of glue. And then I'm going to put my little flowers. And the way I did this was I put glue here. And then I glued it down on top of the strawberry, so it gave it a little more dimension. I love these little strawberry flowers. They're so pretty. I think I'm going to tuck one under here. Like that. And then one more over here. I'm using the most infinitesimal amount of glue that you can imagine. I don't like to use a lot of glue. I just think it ends up down the wrong end. It just ends up making your whole card sticky. You know what? I think I'm going to move this a little bit. Let's see if I can still move it. It might be glued down. But that's the nice part about the glue. I have a little bit more option there. I like that a lot better. And even though this is written out, it's very subtle, you can hardly tell, but this pen has saved me so many times. It's a Stampin' Write Project Life marker. I don't even know if we sell them anymore. They used to be available from Stampin' Up. In case you don't know what this is, it's a silicone sheet, and I like to do all my adhesive on it. So that's today's card. I am going to add one more little thing that's not listed there, but while I was working on the card, I thought, you know what, these drops are so pretty. They would be pretty on the card. So I'm going to add a couple of them just to add a little extra sparkle to my card. I like to use the different sizes because I think they just add more dimension. Sort of like using light and dark. Sizes are the same. Isn't that pretty? It just adds one last little element to our card. I swear each one of these is different. So that's the last thing that's not listed on there. In case you want to know, they're opal rounds. Opals are so pretty. So that's today's card. Tomorrow, remember, is at 10:30. I will be on at 10:30 with coffee and cards, and we will be doing a version of the card we did last Monday, which is using Seaside embossing folder, but you can use anything you want. I should be already have posted for you the information for Monday's card, for Tuesday's coffee and cards. And remember, you can bring anything you want to that class and make your own card the way you like it. I hope to see you tomorrow at 10:30 in the morning. There will be no live, and then I'll see you again on Wednesday. Thanks for watching, and don't forget, if you'd like this ink pad guide, just leave me or send me an email, and I'll be happy to share that with you. Thanks for watching. I'll see you Wednesday at 1 o'clock, but tomorrow at 10:30.